Hey guys, Elizabeth here from Plant-Based Bride, and today I'm going to be talking about my vegan and sustainable period routine. So, as you guys know, if you watched my haul video from a couple videos back, I ordered some Thinx period panties to try out and told you guys I would let you know my thoughts afterwards. And let me just say in a word, awesome. They're awesome. And they're 100% going to become part of my period routine, which I wanted to share with you guys. I would just like to put out there that this is going to be a video all about periods and my period in particular. If you don't like hearing about periods, or if you don't have one or whatever, and you don't feel like watching this video, then I would suggest that you go watch something else right now instead of watching more and then getting uncomfortable and then leaving a weird comment or disliking. Just leave this video for people who are actually interested in it. So some history. I started my period very late. I didn't get it until I was 17, I think, or 16. It took me a long time to get there. I do not experience cramps or pain on my period, which I'm very thankful for. I do definitely experience discomfort on the first day, which has fluctuated. At times I haven't really noticed it at all, and at times it's very uncomfortable and very noticeable and distracting. A bit of bloating, as well as just feeling your insides shifting, and it's just uncomfortable. My periods are also probably in the middle of the spectrum of light to heavy. I wouldn't call them insanely light, but they're definitely not very heavy. And they usually last around 4 days or so. So now that you guys have a bit of a background on me and my period, I also wanted to talk about my history of what I've used or what my period routines have been in the past. So when I first got my period, I used pads exclusively. I then eventually started using tampons and pads at night. Most recently, before I switched over to what I do now, I was using tampons pretty much 99% of the time, including overnight, and using panty liners as a second backup, and once in a blue moon using a pad. So now to what I do as my period routine as a vegan and someone who's interested in being eco-friendly and sustainable and going lower waist. So you guys may have never thought of this, and I definitely didn't for a long time, but traditional period products, just tampons and pads and panty liners, have a huge amount of waste. If you just think about the packaging as well as the product itself and how many you use just yourself over the course of one period, multiplied by an entire year and then multiplied by your entire life, just the amount of waste you yourself would create from your period in your lifetime would be extraordinary. And then you multiply that by every woman who has a period and their entire lifetimes, and it's staggering. So shortly after this occurred to me, I did a bit of research and I realized that tampons aren't necessarily vegan. They're tested on animals, and they also may contain pesticides unless you get organic tampons, which a lot of us can't afford. So I was really getting to the point where I thought there had to be something else that I could be using instead of things that were creating so much waste and also weren't necessarily in alignment with my values. And that's when I heard about the Diva cup. So I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about the Diva cup. A lot of people have talked about it on YouTube. You probably know someone in your regular life who uses it. But the Diva cup is incredible. It comes in a box that looks like this. The Diva cup is a particular brand, but there are lots of brands that make menstrual cups. This is the one that I bought. It was around, it was $37.99 Canadian. And I've had this now for quite a while, and I've heard that they can last up to 5 to 10 years, which is incredible. So the only waste you get with the Diva cup is the recyclable box it comes in, and after, again, half to a full decade, you might need to get rid of your Diva cup and buy another one. It also comes with a little pouch to keep it in, which is really nice. It's breathable, so it helps to keep your cup sanitary. If you guys don't want to see my Diva cup, which has been in my vagina, then you can close your eyes for the next couple minutes. But I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So this is what a Diva cup looks like. It's not particularly large. It's really interesting actually that it has measurements, so you can actually get really in touch with your body and see how your cycle fluctuates on the heavy to light side over the course of your period. It's really easy to insert. It definitely takes a little bit of time to get used to. Yes, if you closed your eyes to not see the Diva cup that has been in my particular vagina, you can open your eyes now because I put it away. Anyway, it's relatively easy to insert. It definitely takes a bit of practice. You have to be comfortable with putting something into your vagina. Your fingers also are going to go into your vagina. If that's not something you're comfortable with, the Diva cup isn't for you. And again, it takes a bit of getting used to and figuring out how to insert it properly for yourself. I find it's a lot easier to take out than it is to put in, which people worry about. They worry that they're gonna put it in and because it doesn't have a string or something, it's gonna get lost. Don't worry, your vagina is only a couple of inches long before you hit your cervix, and it's just not gonna happen. It has nowhere to go other than come back out again if you pull it out. So it does take some time to get used to, and sometimes when you're still learning, it can be hard to get the seal just right, which can cause leakage. And for this reason, I was still using panty liners for a while after I got my Diva cup because I didn't always insert it properly. You know, you only get a few days every month to practice, and usually the first day after a month of not using it, I would be a bit rusty and not quite get the seal right, and then I would end up with a bit of leakage, so I would use my panty liners. But that was still causing waste, and I didn't want to do that. And that's when I discovered or decided to go with the Thinx period panties. So I'll link the haul video below for you guys to see me talking about them there, because I do talk quite a bit about them. But just as a little recap, the Thinx period panties are capable of absorbing up to 2 tampons worth of blood, depending on what style you go with. And you can wear them on their own or with some sort of other menstrual products, such as a menstrual cup. I got the thong, I got the boy short, and I also got the hip hugger. So I tried these out on my last period and they were incredible. Not only do they not feel like you're wearing a pad or a panty liner, they're super comfortable, but they also really do absorb as much as they say they do. There's no leaking whatsoever. They're easy to clean afterwards. It's kind of amazing. And I actually spent 2 of my 4 days without my Diva cup in because I just wore the hip hugger one of the days and I wore the boy shorts the other day, and I just didn't have my Diva cup in and there was no problem. And it felt almost like I wasn't on my period, which was amazing. And I personally find the Diva cup a lot more comfortable than having a tampon in. You don't get that dryness that you can get with a tampon that's really uncomfortable, but you can still tell that you have it in from time to time, especially if you didn't quite insert it properly. And it's really nice to not have to have it in for your entire period. The thongs were also great for wearing during the day while I had my Diva cup in. It was like having a panty liner, made sure that there was no leakages whatsoever. Seamlessly fit under my clothing. No one could tell that I had anything on differently than I would normally. And again, they were way more comfortable than wearing a regular thong with a panty liner. I also want to say this is not a sponsored post. I'm not working with Thinx. I just think they're awesome. And I have a link below, and anyone can get this link if you sign up with Thinx and make an account. You can share it with other people and they can get $10 off, and if they buy something and they're new to the company and they make an account, then you also get $10 towards your next Thinx purchase. So if you want to use my code, if you don't have an account already with them, you get $10 off your first order, and I get $10 too, which is kind of awesome. So I'll link that below. If you don't want to use that link and give me $10 and get $10 for some reason, you can just Google them and they'll come up. So that's kind of it for what I'm doing with my period routine right now. I'm wearing my Thinx period panties, and I'm wearing my Diva cup on the first day for sure, the first day and night when it's the heaviest. And then if I'm off to work and want to wear a thong so that it's seamless under my clothing, I'll wear the Diva cup with it. And if I'm at home and at night, I'll just wear one of the more absorbent pairs like the hip hugger or the boy shorts. And I feel incredible about the fact that these are vegan products, there were no animals harmed in the creation of these products, and also that I'm not creating this insane amount of waste. These panties are gonna last a really long time, I'm gonna take care of them, and my Diva cup's gonna last a really long time, and I'm not creating that waste for, 4 to 5 days every single month for the rest of my life and just throwing things away and contributing to environmental destruction. I'm doing something that feels great for myself, feels really empowering, and also is really good for the environment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video about my period routine, and I've also been thinking recently that maybe it would be good as kind of part of this series or another extended part of this topic to talk about vegan and cruelty-free and eco-friendly birth control, as well as safe sex and all of that stuff. So if you're interested in hearing about what I do for birth control and about how you can be a vegan and still prevent pregnancies, then let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to do a video on that at some point as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you really soon. Bye. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Check me out on all my social media, stalk me if you want. And if you like the content I'm putting out for free on my channel, please consider supporting me on Patreon. You can pledge as little as $1 a month, and it really, really helps me out and costs you less than a cup of coffee.